Hi, I'm Kevin Lamote. I'm a PhD student at the Department of Respiratory Medicine of Ghent University Hospital. Our research group focuses on early detection and screening for pleural mesothelioma. Recently, we have discovered some interesting compounds in exhaled breath which can be used as markers for mesothelioma. And these come in the breath because of oxidative stress which is induced by the asbestos fibers. So the asbestos fibers, when inhaled, they can do a lot of damage to the pleural lining that surrounds the lung, which is called the mesothelium. But that can also penetrate and rupture blood vessels, which induces hemoglobin due to hemolysis. So when this hemoglobin is released, the free iron in this molecule can also induce some damage, which can help to the development of mesothelioma. Now, there's another protein called haptoglobin, which literally means to catch or to eat hemoglobin, binds free hemoglobin, and in that way counteracts the dramatic effects of free iron. Now, we have three types of haptoglobin, the 1,1, the 2,1, and the 2,2 phenotype. And we thought that dependent on this phenotype, this can help in the development of mesothelioma when asbestos fibers are inhaled. For instance, the haptoglobin 1,1 phenotype has a very strict binding with the hemoglobin, but a very low binding, a low affinity for the receptor. Otherwise, the 2,2 phenotype has a very high affinity for the receptor, but a lower binding capacity for hemoglobin. So we thought that, depending on the phenotype, this could aid or help in mesothelioma development, and we wanted to research the haptoglobin phenotype as a risk factor for mesothelioma. So therefore, we could collaborate with our colleagues of the universities of Ghent, Antwerp, and Leuven. And we have collected some blood samples of 180 mesothelioma patients, 96 persons who were occupationally exposed to asbestos in the past, and a control population of 918 healthy controls out of the Belgian population. And we have seen that haptoglobin 1,1 phenotype was overexpressed in mesothelioma patients compared to the other groups, control groups. And furthermore, we saw that the relative risk for developing mesothelioma when having the haptoglobin 1,1 phenotype, when you're a healthy control without asbestos exposure, was 1.74. What was more striking was that when you had occupational asbestos exposure in the past, you had a relative risk of 3.05 when having the haptoglobin 1,1 phenotype. So we have really identified a haptoglobin phenotype as a risk factor for mesothelioma. So for the future, we need to validate these findings, and we want to collaborate with other research centers to investigate this issue. Furthermore, this could mean that if it's a risk factor, it could mean that the patients could be screened for the phenotype.